Hi, this is an introduction to the new design of Sage 100 Contractor version 18. For those of you that have installed it, some of these are familiar screens to you. I'm going to introduce you to different parts of the screens, new ways to move around. We aren't going to look at all of the features that have been introduced, but I'm going to help you find some of the areas that have moved that might not be as intuitive. What we're looking at now is what we're calling process maps. We're on the Payroll Activity Center, and these process maps can be customized. Now you can use these as the shortcuts. The old shortcuts that we used to use didn't have the little images that we're seeing. And you can customize them to meet your needs. So as we're looking at payroll here, notice that we've got employees. We can double-click and take the shortcut to get to the employee screen. We can still use the old method by using the payroll and processing and employees. So you can still move around using the menus on the left. The links that have been created between the activities here, you can create links yourself. Notice that we've got some reports at the bottom of the screen. So to customize this, I'm going to go ahead and click here. Notice that I can move tasks or add more tasks from the menu. So if I want to move these reports up, I can, maybe not that far up, but I can move them up into positions. If I want to add more reports, or maybe add compensation slips, I can click and I can drag to my process map for my payroll. We can connect the items. If I wanted to connect my reports, I could select the to and from and draw the connections that make sense. And they could make sense to you, maybe not to somebody else, but you can customize it to your needs. You can also select and drag items from the system menu, and they automatically connect. So if I wanted another function here, maybe another report rather than a function, maybe my payroll check register, I already have that, my tax report, I can click and drag it and notice that it automatically connects it. I can draw boxes around groups of items. So maybe if I wanted to box in all of my reports, I could just draw that, click and drag. So these can be customized to each user. This is based on your user logon. You can also select and draw lines manually between boxes, and then you can delete items. So if I save this and I decide that I want to make changes to it, I can still make edits to it. Or if I want to return to the original, what I can do is I can click here and I can restore. And it gets me back to the original setup. So have fun customizing your own process maps. As I move to the right, to the very far right, let me click out of here. Actually, I have to save that and cancel out of that to move. As I move to the very far right, you'll notice that we have a Reports tab. This is a collection of all of your reports, so you don't have to go into the menus to find your reports. You can print them from the desktop and just access the report that you're looking for. We have an Administration tab. Some of the items you can already find in menus, but if you're looking to change your license server, that's at the very bottom of the Administration tab. That used to be on the desktop menu under File, and we could change company or username or license server. So now that's where the Change License Server is. On the lower left, lower right, I'm sorry, get my left and right straight. On the lower right, you can change the company. This used to be in the upper left, as did the change username and access. So those have now been repositioned to the lower right. And I'll cancel out of that. What is also new is My Menu. My Menu is unique to the user, so you can save a group of the menus that you work in. Each user can have their own set. What I've done in this example is imagined an AP entry that was also entering project management and equipment management. So notice as I open accounts payable, it's quite a bit smaller than the entire AP menu because I've reduced it to the activities that this person is going to be accessing and using. That does not preclude them from accessing other areas such as accounts payable reports. If you want to exclude them from accessing certain items, that goes through security. So My Menu is just merely for access. It does not secure or keep anybody out because they still have access to the system menu. So how do you design your or My Menu? You go to Customize My Menu at the bottom of the screen, and you select the items that you want to add to My Menu. If I go down to Accounts Payable, notice that I have deselected the payable reports and the vendor payments. That's why they're not showing up. Now I have added GL, so if I save as My Menu, notice GL has been added. Have fun designing your menus. I'm going to take us to a couple of individual screens because there are changes in the screens, and we're going to Accounts Payable, Invoices, and Credits. When we get this screen open, we can see that there are some differences. I actually like the changes on these screens, but recognize that some of the fields may have moved. So for you data entry people that key in very quickly, recognize that over on the left-hand side, we don't have invoice date. That field has moved. It's moved into the center here, and it's in line with the other date fields. So now we have invoice date, due date, and discount date grouped together. Notice also that we've got asterisks. So some of the field names are telling us these are required. So they're no longer blue titles. Now we have asterisks to identify the required entries. We're going to go over and look at the vendor records. In this particular screen, we've got some new tabs. So the tabs have been added to make room for additional information and spread the fields out so it's not so crowded. The General Information tab has the owner and address information. We've got financial information that had its own tab, but it was quite a bit smaller. It was about a third this size. And we've got invoice defaults, other defaults, and new is ACH payment setup, which is handled similarly to the way that you are using direct deposits in payroll. The screens have changed. We're going to all have to adjust to them. If you have any questions about the changes on the screens, please give us a call and let us know how you like it.